All right, buckle up. It's time for some Friday fun, ramblings and rants. Let's talk about AI and automations and why you should treat AI like it's your kid. Only this kid grows up faster, it remembers everything, and it sure as hell doesn't tell you that you only have 4 subscribers on your new YouTube channel with 1 like and less than 100 views. Gosh, Harper. So stick around if you want the tea, because this video is going to be action-packed with more drama than the new season of Love is Blind when Leo tells us he's an art dealer like 1,000,000 times. Come on, Leo. Let's get one thing straight. AI is not just some fancy buzzword. Maybe it is, but AI is like your kid, and you should treat it as such. Only this kid remembers everything, it grows up overnight, and it's not gonna roast you for having 4 YouTube subscribers. Now, if you're like me, you've probably had that scary thought that maybe AI is completely terrifying. Maybe we're at the start of some sort of zombie robot apocalypse, maybe not. But let's put it into some context, really. Because every time we humans have had some sort of new invention or technology come along, we freak out. The printing press was scary, the internet was terrifying, and Snuggies blew my mind. But what follows these Snuggie freakouts is periods of real love, real art, real growth, the Renaissance. So if you've had the thought that AI is probably going to steal your job and take over the world, you're probably right. But you're also probably right that AI is going to make your job much less miserable. So how should you treat AI like it's your kid? That's where you come in. And as the proud parent of your new AI child, you got a lot of work to do. Because training AI is a lot like parenting. You don't let your kid learn from the weird kid down the street that microwaving an egg is a bad idea. If you've got kids like me and you love them like I do, then you sure as heck want to train them and teach them in all the great things that the world has to offer. You teach them values, you teach them boundaries. And if you're a good parent, you teach them little tricks along the way to stay out of trouble. You feed your little AI kid with the best results, good information, good food, and then you sit back and watch them grow into the best little AI automation kid you ever did raise. So stop feeding your AI kid with dumb things, vague prompts like, "Make my life easier, please." Just like you would your kid, guide it, be specific, give it clear instructions. And maybe one day it will even admit that your YouTube channel is worth subscribing. Let's change gears and talk a little bit about productivity. Despite what we tell our spouses, most of us are not drowning in big project work every single day. Nope, we're bleeding out. We're bleeding out with 1,000 little cuts of all the endless amounts of unplanned work and tasks that we have to do. These aren't shotgun blasts to our chest. These are paper cuts that are killing you. It's death by 1,000 15-minute meetings. Those hundreds of small email replies that you have to do every single day. And those soul-crushing 60-minute meetings that are about nothing but syncing. What is syncing? You're here, you're there, you're everywhere, and before you know it, it's 4 p.m. and you feel like you haven't done shit. But the good news is for you, you've trained your AI kid. And now your AI kid is going to handle all of those 5, 15, 30-minute tasks that you never wanted to do in the first place. So, oh my gatos, where do we start? I can tell you where not to start. Don't just start by jumping into AI and thinking that it's going to run the whole show for you. Stop trying to reinvent the wheel or create some sort of magical idea with AI. Because what reality and my former hero Scott Galloway tells us, you're not Steve Jobs, you're not Jeff Bezos. Thanks, Scott, for that quote, but there's a reason why you shouldn't meet your heroes. So where do you start? Focus on the boring and mundane stuff. Because if you're like me and the first thing you do in the morning when you wake up is grab your phone and check 7 different social networks, all of your email, your upcoming meetings for the day, and everything you have to do with your kids, then you're gonna love AI and automations. Let's give a more practical example. Now, every single day, you probably also wake up and read news outlets, some newsletters, some emails you got over the night. If you're a manager, a lot of times you want to summarize those notes and maybe provide them back to your team in context relative to your business. So instead of spending an hour every single day playing Guess What Matters, scrolling through all of those emails, have AI do the heavy lifting for you. And I'm sure if you want to set up an automation that tells you how many times Leo from Love is Blind has told us that he's rich and he's an art dealer, we can surely get it done. Now, if you started your career in automotive retail like me, there's some major time sucks that we can solve for. Our industry turns over 70% plus every single year in the retail world. And that turnover is a huge productivity killer. I know that when I got started, the training that I had consisted of here's the new car lot, Here's the used car lot. Go make us proud, son. So if you're still onboarding new hires with that same company value speech I got, it may be boring, but maybe employee onboarding and scheduling is a great place to start for you with AI and automations. Let's start with employee onboarding. Every single week, a dealership is onboarding a new employee. Now, employee onboarding takes a lot of time, and the majority of the time is spent with the employee pinging you back and forth with questions that should be answered all during the onboarding experience. You can easily use AI and automation software to implement workflows and onboarding processes that help employees have the ability to query internal knowledge bases at any time, saving you time. And how many forms does that new hire have to fill out on their first day of employment? How many logins do you or your business manager or your internet director have to create for them when they first start? Here's where we put your AI kid to work. What if you built automations using AI so that every single time a new employee started, they had the exact same experience. They only have to fill out one form and all paperwork is completed. And every single login to the 27 different technology partners that you have is created instantaneously. What if they had access to an internal database that's powered by AI that allows them to ask questions based on what they don't know? Focus on the boring stuff. You know what else is boring that you gotta do every single week? You gotta create an employee schedule. Now, creating a schedule really doesn't take that much time, but it's pretty annoying. And combing through 3 to 5 different software applications and HR management systems to understand what availability looks like and who you should staff for that week is just a challenge. What if you could create an automation using AI that not only ensured that you have coverage during the busiest times of the week, but that your best employees are working together based on metrics like their highest gross profit together, their highest CSI together, their enjoyability of working together. Imagine getting work done instead of your title being babysitter. So here's the big takeaway. Be a better parent, not only to your current kids, but train it right, show it the ropes, put it to work doing all of the things that are killing your productivity, the boring stuff. Because just like your kids, AI is only as good as the guidance you give it. Because if you want your AI kid to grow up, to be productive and think for itself, and probably remember to understand your customer data better than my kids understand how to take out the trash, you gotta put the work in. So let's get started. Start with the boring, mundane stuff that you do every single day that's killing you. Free yourself up for the high value work and the stuff that actually moves the needle. And who knows, maybe one day you can have 4 subscribers, 100 views, and 1 like. But I promise you, either way, AI is here. And if you treat your AI kid right, it will pay you back 1,000 times over. And maybe you too can be as rich and famous and powerful as the art dealer Leo from Love is Blind, who got axed from the show, Luther.